As Nintendo fans get more and more excited over the future of the Nintendo Switch 2, we definitely have a whole lot of things to share and potentially the actual confirmation of the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, if you look last night or across the internet right now, you'll see that Star Fox has officially returned. And honestly, this is fantastic, but is this a coincidence or is this actually part of Nintendo's big plan? Now, I honestly think that it might be both, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so now if you looked at it, Star Fox is celebrating the 25th anniversary this year, and maybe it's a coincidence that Nintendo was planning this whole thing all along. But I don't think that that's the case, because if you looked at the Super Mario Galaxy movie, a little while ago we got a leak saying that Super Mario Galaxy movie is going to be directly involved with an upcoming game. And lo and behold, a Star Fox game! Woohoo! So everything that we've seen so far is looking really good. If you looked at what Nate the Hate is saying, this is honestly the most accurate that pretty much any Nintendo leaker has been. If you look at it, he said that we are going to be getting a Star Fox announcement, although it did not happen in April, but instead May. He said that it's going to be happening, it did happen. Before Nintendo Direct, it did happen. June was going to be the release date, it did happen. And also we are going to be getting other games in summer, which was Splatoon Raiders, which we haven't heard of for over a year, and also Rhythm Haven Groove, which we also haven't heard over a year. So honestly, this is all fantastic news. But then when it comes to Ocarina of Time, what exactly does this mean? How did Nintendo pretty much confirm it? Well, if we look back at Star Fox right now, if, of course, the 25th anniversary, so with The Legend of Zelda, this is essentially one of those big franchises. Why would Nintendo completely skip out over something that so many people want? You just looked at it. Everyone was super excited over Star Fox last night when they just dropped it. Honestly, I thought that this was going to be completely fake. So now, if we're looking at this, they're probably going to be celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda series in style, with the game that essentially every single Nintendo fans will admit that, hey, this game still is a masterpiece to this day. It might be a little bit old to use and try to play the game, but it still is really, really great. So honestly, these are a lot of things that Nintendo could do to the game. Well, first off, if you look again at Star Fox, this is a game that is completely changed. So if you were looking at, hey, potentially all the leaked rumored visuals are actually going to be looking something like this, well, maybe you were completely right. Because honestly, these visuals look really, really great inside of this Star Fox game. You can quite literally see the reflections, you can see the physics engine actually working really, really great, and everything associated with that looks honestly awesome. The particles on screen, and it's essentially using the full power of the Nintendo Switch 2. And seeing as Nintendo's docks, or should we say the balloons aren't flowing as fast as they would definitely need a big game to bring everyone over. Although the Star Fox game definitely is big, especially if you are a big fan of the series, but if you've never played the series before, you just think, I'm not a big fan of space adventure, but I do like The Legend of Zelda, this is something that will definitely happen. Also, if you looked at it, right now we don't have anything, no Nintendo Direct, no news, no information to share on like the whole what we're going to be seeing in the end of it. It's pretty much just leaked the end of the year. So this leak would definitely be a big thing for the series, big thing for the Nintendo Switch 2, because this would be a system seller. Now what exactly would change? Well, first off, the visuals definitely would change. Like, it honestly would change. The visuals will be something like how the Star Fox visuals are, but more in the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time sort of style. Like, if you really looked at it, look at the 3DS version, but take that and upscale it to 16K, and then there you go, you got like something like this. Now, I'm not saying that the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be a 16K machine, but it's going to be something like that. It's also most likely going to have controls that are going to be completely different than what we originally had right there. So instead of having to look around with the stick but then get pointed back because you couldn't figure out how to make it do a 360 camera, we're most likely going to be getting a 360 camera. Also, when it comes to side quests, we are most likely going to be getting side quests that are a little bit different than we originally had it. Now that there's so many newer players playing, and if you haven't noticed, over the past couple of years, the games have been getting more easy, if you will, because there's more younger audience that only scrolls through their phone, I guess, over and over, and I guess they can't read anymore, who knows. but the games are going to most likely show exactly where the player has to go. Now, honestly, I don't necessarily think that this is a bad thing, to be honest. There is a lot of great qualities to have right here, but there's also, well, what about reading the actual script, reading everything? Potentially, what could be happening here is actual voice acting. Now, voice acting could be happening for it, but I don't necessarily see it for like the sort of side quest. It's most likely just going to be, okay, so for this you need the golden scatulas. There's going to be a map, so if you want, go look for the golden scatulas. It's overall going to be a little bit different on how it was on the N64 version, because if you have no idea where you were going to get golden scatulas, those things were a pain to go and get. Those things were a pain to get every single one of them, and I believe, what did it give you? Like a ruby satchel, it also gave you a piece of heart, and a couple other things. It's most likely going to tell you, okay, so you have to go here, 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 here. If you looked again at Star Fox, that's essentially where it is. You pretty much get that direct pointer tail, okay, so you have to go here, and there you go. But of course, this could be a completely separate game to what Legend of Zelda series is officially going to be. It could be a different formula and franchise, but just overall, if you looked at the whole shape of the gaming industry, it's pretty much just, okay, you have to go here. It points you on the map, points you in the right direction, and there you go. Now, overall, I think that this game is probably not going to change very much, because Nintendo doesn't have to do much to make this a fantastic masterpiece. Because honestly, the original one was that masterpiece that, honestly, if you like The Legend of Zelda, you've probably played before, and you could either say that this game is honestly amazing, or this game absolutely sucks. Like me, I found that the story was absolutely amazing, but to be honest, I disliked the controls. Yeah, I really did. Now, this time around, since it's a remaster, they will most likely be adding voice acting. Now, voice acting is probably going to be happening. They wouldn't do a remaster of Ocarina of Time, leave it as is, and call it a day. What we're going to be seeing is most likely something to do with voice acting, where you do see things like Breath of the Wild, for example. The voice acting is there. That is just for the main story, however. It's most likely just going to be for the main story. Unless there's fewer side quests or whatever the case may be, it's most likely just going to be for the main part of the story. So Zelda's going to have a voice, the tree's going to have a voice, we're also going to be seeing the owl that's most likely going to be having a voice. I could be completely wrong. Big visuals, clarity, fidelity, and everything associated to that is coming. And we also most likely going to be seeing different side quests and different ways to play. But it's probably going to have some sort of difficulty slider that you're able to pick easy if you've never played the game before, then you just want the story. Medium if you want just this experience, the same basic experience. Hard if you want a challenge, and then maybe another mode or something. Who knows? That's most likely what's going to be happening here. But overall, I'm pretty sure Nintendo just confirmed that this is going to be coming this year. And honestly, I am so excited for Ocarina of Time. I can't express how much. I've recorded this video about 4 or 5 times trying to get the perfect sort of way. And maybe I'm going to record it again. Who knows if this one's going to be public. Anyways, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that Ocarina of Time is going to be an absolute masterpiece? A big win for Nintendo? Or do you think, no, it's not going to be coming? No. 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 Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Consider to hit that subscribe button. The Legend of Zelda is coming. Woo, that actually rhymed. Yeah. Anyways, we do a bunch of Nintendo content. See you in the next one.